I debated on making this video because I wasn't sure if it was something you guys actually wanted to see. But I did a community post and you guys all said you wanted to see this, so here we are. In this video, I'm going to be ranking every Mario Kart Super Circuit track. A lot of them are very similar, which is why I debated on making the video at first, but I'm going to be making it anyways, so hopefully you enjoy. I would also like to specify that this will only be focusing on the new tracks in this game, which means I will not be counting the tracks from Super Mario Kart, because those ones are really boring and, let's face it, you'd rather just see me rank the more unique tracks in this game anyways. So anyways, without further ado, let's go. This is the only track in the game I don't really enjoy playing. The ice physics are kind of annoying, the overall layout of the track is not really that fun, and the screen shake is horrendous. This track just isn't fun, and while I don't really mind it too much, it's just not fun. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about this track, and at the end of the day, it's definitely not one of my favorites. As the first track in this game, this one's bound to be basic. Peach Circuit really doesn't have anything you need to watch out for. There are just a couple item boxes and coins you really need to worry about. The track overall is as basic as it gets. This track could be interchanged with Peach Circuit, but I prefer Mario Circuit a little more just because it has that one area where you can kind of go through that one narrow section and it gives you an item box and a speed boost. I think it's pretty cool and just adds a little bit more to the track. Once again, this is a pretty basic track, but I like this one more than the last two mentioned because the background is more appealing to look at. Don't get me wrong, I love Cheeseland, but the track itself is very basic and doesn't really offer much. Plus, it's not made out of cheese, it's clearly made out of sand. They're lying to us. This track could be interchanged with Cheeseland, but I like the Yoshi Sphinx. It looks pretty cool. This track really won't throw much at you. There are a couple of bridges and a few water areas you have to watch out for, but overall, you're not really going to have to worry about anything on this track. This track has a very similar layout to Peach Circuit and Mario Circuit, but what makes this one different is that it's raining, and there are a couple of rain puddles you gotta watch out for. It makes the overall track more appealing and a bit more challenging. This track looks and feels very similar to Riverside Park, but what makes this one different is that there are volcanoes in the background that spew lava, or lava rocks, I guess. It makes the track more interesting and more challenging. I bet a lot of people are going to be surprised this is ranked so poorly on the list, but I've never been a huge fan of Bowser Castle 3. Bowser Castle 3, while I gotta give it credit for looking more different than the rest of them, definitely doesn't feel as challenging or even as fun. There are barely any obstacles to watch out for, and the only ones you do have to watch out for are thwomps, which very rarely get in your way on this track. Honestly, I like the aesthetic for this track, but they should have just made it a bit more interesting. Boo Lake. Where's the lake? Honestly, this is a really fun ghost track, and I really enjoy this one too. It's just your standard ghost track, I guess. Nothing really to say about it. This track could be interchanged with Boo Lake, but I like it more because it's more challenging and it has that one shortcut where you gotta try and not fall off that one bridge while you're going super fast. It makes for a really good ghost track, and honestly, I like it. It's a fun track. Sky Garden is arguably the most memorable track in this game. Something about how bright and colorful it is just really appealing and honestly makes this track a really fun experience. There's a lot of cool things to see in this track, like bridges and plants and clouds and all that. It's definitely one of the more visually appealing tracks in my opinion, and I certainly enjoy it. Ribbon Road is a pretty fun track. The track takes place in what seems to be a kid's room or whatever, and you're just driving on a ribbon, I guess. There is that one really cool section where you start going really fast and then your character bounces off the ground really high. Even though it always messes you up, it's still really cool and honestly makes it stand out from the rest of the tracks in this game. I feel like a lot of people are going to be surprised with how well I'm ranking Shy Guy Beach. Honestly, it throws way more at you than you might think. The layout of the track is really cool and you got some off-road sections to watch out for. There's also water you gotta watch out for too that'll slow you down. Plus, cannonballs are being fired at you. Cannonballs! That's an obstacle that no other Super Circuit track has. This track is filled to the brim with obstacles for Super Circuit standards, which makes it super fun and really makes it stand out from the rest of the tracks in this game. This has always been one of the more interesting tracks to me in this game. Sunset Wilds is interesting because as each lap goes on, the track becomes more and more dark because it's turning into night. There's also a lot of speed boosts as well and Shy Guys you gotta watch out for, which makes the track itself really fun. This track is really cool and stands out from the rest really well. Just your standard Bowser Castle track, a lot of thwomps and lava to watch out for. This track really nails the feel of a Bowser Castle track for Super Circuit standards and makes it a really fun experience. This track has a very similar feel to Bowser Castle 1, except it adds this open section where there are a lot of ramps you can jump off of, I guess. And you gotta be careful too, because it's very easy to miscalculate where you're gonna land and land in the lava. It's a really fun track, and honestly makes for a fun experience. By far the best out of all the Bowser Castle tracks in this game. This one has by far the most interesting layout, and even adds some Mecha Koopas in for some flavor. It's a really cool track, and I really enjoy this one. And number 1 on the list is Rainbow Road. In fairness, what did you expect? It's Rainbow Road. This Rainbow Road's always been very interesting to me. You can always bounce off the sides and perform cool shortcuts, which makes this Rainbow Road very different from the rest. There's also that one really cool shortcut where you go really fast and have to try and land on the track properly, which I've never been able to pull off once before in my entire life. You can also see Bowser's Castle from Paper Mario in the background, which has always been a really neat touch for me. It's not one you would expect to see, but hey, it's welcome nonetheless. Well, that's every Mario Kart Super Circuit track ranked. Thank you all so much for watching. This really was a fun video to put together. I had more fun putting this together than I thought I would, considering each Super Circuit track kind of feels the same in a way, but honestly, the tracks stand out more than I initially realized. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, but until then, keep being awesome Nintendo fans. Peace out.